there.
And welcome to another edition of Boy and Girl Thing. I'm Kit Smith, and I'm the author of the book, Let's Meet Our Match, Your Complete Guide to Success in the World of Internet Dating. And on my left, as always, is...
I am Cece Schatz.
And she's the doily of...
The doily.
Yeah, it's a combination of doyen and girly.
Oh.
You're the doily. Okay.
The doily. Oh, that's the first one. Well, I am a divorced and transition into dating expert in the field of trying to help people move forward to living their best lives.
And navigating out of bad situations and getting over them. And again, stepping forward into a brand new life that we hope you'll love.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're here to do. And I got to tell you, this is our pre-Christmas special. And when I walked in tonight to do this with Cece, for my friends watching this back home in Philadelphia and New Jersey, it was like walking into Gaudio's or Wanamaker's. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Brother.
Is it Chevy Chase's Vacation?
Pretty darn close, okay?
Well, actually, I've toned it down. Over the years, I really do. I just do a lot, but I just love it. I have a good time with it, and I love decorating. And before we start the show, I want to do a shout out to all of you that have supported me through my father's surgery. I want to thank you so much for not only just being my friend, but being the wonderful, human beings that you are. You guys have stepped up to give me the support and the loving to be able to really go through a very difficult, trying time for our family. So I want to thank you for reaching out and talking to us and supporting us and helping us through that.
And the most important thing,
doing very well.
Most important thing is Pop seems to be doing really well.
Yeah.
Okay. He seems to be recovering nicely, and that's what matters over and above everything else. So again, for Cece, thank you, everyone that has contacted her and, kept her going. It's been a difficult time.
Thank you. Yeah, and I want to also tell you that he had his 85th birthday, and we just fed him nothing but chocolate, and so he was very, very happy with that. So, well, let's move on to our subject, because I'm kind of excited about this, and I want to do a shout out because some of our good friends are here with us. I see Susan and Bill, so thank you very much for popping in. Of course, you can make any comment that you want within reason, and we'll be glad to show that and share that with you, but with the audience. So let's talk about this subject. What's our subject tonight?
The 7th tip, dating tips you need to ignore if you want love that will last.
Oh,
okay?
Are we going to do them in order, or are we going to mix them around?
We'll probably start out doing them in order, and then they'll end up getting mixed around.
Knowing me, absolutely.
Yeah. Once you get the blender going.
I know. But you guys love that blender. So well, the very first one is playing hard to get. So guys, come on. Why do you guys do that? Play hard to get.
It's not just the guys. Okay. Women also seem to relish the pursuit. They seem to relish the chase. So in many people's minds, both male and female, the idea that you're willing to, let's say, pursue a little bit,
right,
is somehow what they get from that is an indication that you're serious. In other words, if you're
who gets that indication?
The person that's playing hard to get.
Well, okay, here's my take on it. Is I think that we have grown throughout the years, us women. Janice says, hi, Kit. Hi.
Hi, Jan. How are you tonight? Thanks for jumping in.
But okay, I was just going to say, thank you. Hi. So I was just going to say that I think over the years, we as women have been really kind of told that we need to kind of refrain a little bit, let the guy take the lead, and kind of be a little bit like a cat and mouse game. So I think the times have changed, and they're starting to change, and women don't necessarily have to behave like that. But I think in our generation, we were taught to do that. And so I feel that we should allow a man to be a man and let the man pursue us. Okay. Don't you want to pursue us?
Where does pursuit and where does the line drawn between reasonable pursuit and hard to get? Where's the line?
Well, the line is probably when you want to go to bed.
or you want to say, okay, I've had enough. I'm not chasing.
And now I think we're jumping all the way down the list. But no, that's probably really, I think that is a dividing line, because we can go out with you and we can flirt with you and we can kiss or whatever. But when we, kind of really go all the way, so to speak, when we really bare our heart and soul to you, then we've kind of crossed the line, and it's very hard for us to be able to come back from that.
Is that indicative of a commitment?
No, it's not. But women, I think, once they go to bed with someone, if there's someone they truly care about, once they go to bed with them, they have given a part of themselves away.
Right.
And if the man doesn't step forward and take a lead with that, it really tarnishes the relationship. It's hard to be able to move forward when that happens, because we all want that kind of ultimate connection, don't we?
Yeah. And in the end, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I know. So thank you for telling us the truth there. I've really blown him now. He can't go on from that. Okay, so let's see what the next one is. Avoid dating sites. They're all filled with guys who just want sex. Now, I don't think that's true. Remember, this is all about what is not true. Okay,
right.
and
what
not
to
true.
Ignore, what not to pay attention to.
And that is not true. I have met a lot of really terrific men that are really not interested in just that. They do want some sort of connection with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they do definitely want that. I've also met some that can't even do that anyhow. So they're really wanting more than that. And what an awesome thing. So if you take it to that next level, when someone really is truly looking for that wonderful, awesome connection with someone, and they're not thinking about it from a sexual, standpoint, how great is that? Although you do want that, you do want the
at the very least, at the very least in the beginning, I think you hope that there's at least a sexual attraction.
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't, that doesn't have to, that first time you get that feeling doesn't have to result in a bedroom encounter right then and there that night, but you would at least like to feel sexually attracted to the other person.
I think it's a great idea you brought that up, because I think there are two separate things. There's the sexual attraction that we have with someone, that word chemistry that you always want to bring up.
It's never going to go away, not while we're doing this.
I know.
Okay.
But the actual sexual act, the elements are similar, but they're very, very, very different from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be, I think, sexually satisfied without actually having sex. And I don't know if that's
a different point.
I know that's a hard statement to make, but I do think that if you have a partner that is trying to make you happy in all aspects, whether it be sexually or otherwise, it doesn't mean intercourse. I think that's what I'm saying is that you don't actually have to have intercourse to still be sexually happy.
Keep walking. The swamp's up to your waist now.
Well, we can move on with that. That can be a whole nother show. But I do feel that you can be very sexually attractive to someone and still be able to feel fulfilled without having intercourse. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does to me, and I'm sticking to it. I'm going with it. So what's the next one? Sit back and wait for the guy to make the first move.
Well, those days are over.
And that I still struggle with that myself, because again, I'm from the old school, and I kind of like the guy to take the lead. I like the guy to be I want him to be the man in the relationship. I want him to wear the pants. I want him to have the balls to step forward. Say, hey, woman,
on the railing out here.
Take me. Hey.
They're hanging out on the railing.
I do have balls hanging out. They're colored ones, though.
And from a guy's point of view, I have kind of become from utilizing internet dating sites. I tend to kind of sit back and see who contacts me first.
And how is that working for you?
here I am. I maybe, maybe for me, it's just like, if someone does contact me first, well, then there's obviously a sense of interest there.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten past step one without doing anything. Interest. Okay.
Yeah, but see here, that's the whole thing. I think if us women, and again, I'm from old school, and current contemporary women, I could probably use a lesson or two. But I feel that it's okay to be somewhat assertive, but I do feel that
I'm not necessarily talking assertive. Just reaching out first.
Sure.
Just reaching out
Absolutely.
first.
I'm totally with that. I mean, I think on the dating sites, I think you should definitely search in your area, because I think you should date in your area. If you're going to date outside of your area, it's going to be very difficult for you. So I think you should stick within your area. Search for guys that, of course, you have that first chemistry with, that first sexual attraction. When you're looking at their picture, you still have that. The bells go off.
Or more importantly,
yeah.
Let's just say just as important.
Bruce Starr is here. Hey, Bruce.
Oh, Bruce.
Oh, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I hope you'll join us next week for our Christmas. Pop in.
Yeah, and
share your Christmas wish with us.
Wear one of your shirts, because I was in a men's clothing store not too long ago, and I was amazed to see on one wall the Bruce Starr collection. So I have bought a shirt from the Bruce Starr collection that I would love to wear on a show that you're with us. Okay.
Absolutely. Get a little Hawaiian.
I
love Bruce's look, because I think it's just really great. I love Bruce too. I do too. I think he's great. I love Bruce too. And Bruce has a radio show on FM. And he's also here with us. He still shares shows with us, and we appreciate that. And he's a great guy. I mean, that's the thing, is there's so many great people out there, and so to really, I think, be open and really look to make a friend and enjoy your life a little bit.
Well, let's get back to the.
All right, let's get back to our topic, because I know what is it? Sit back and wait for the guy to make the first move. Do you want to talk any more about that?
Well, all I'm saying, is today, in the world we live in today, and particularly with dating websites, the idea of a woman making the first move is there's no taboo to it anymore.
But I also think you have to be restrictive on your moves that you make, because you want to allow him to be able to have space to come back to you. So if you're too overbearing, I think it starts getting too crazy. Crazy. Cray women.
Then let me pass along this little bit of advice. Before you reach out to someone, if you're a woman, okay, if you're attracted to the pictures.
See, you can smile and make eye contact. Yeah.
And definitely read the profile. Read what the profile says. And if you think there's enough commonality to their profile and what you're looking for, then by all means reach out.
Absolutely, because you can talk.
That's what it's all about. That's what the dating websites are all about.
Yeah, we did a whole show.
Making
remember?
Contact.
We talked about that.
Yes.
Thanks for remembering.
Making contact. That's what so whether the woman does it or the man does it, it's
just somebody's got to do it.
And that's there's no longer a distinction between who reached out to who. Just do it.
Okay, here's the next one. Find a partner who loves you more than you love him. How do you say that? Especially if you're first meeting someone. Well, I think when you truly love someone, and maybe Bruce can even answer this too, is when you truly love someone, it's not about what you can get from them, it's what you want to give them.
I've said that
and
many
the joy
times.
you want to bring to them. I mean, I was talking with a good friend of mine just here recently, and he said to me, "You're always so happy, you're always so upbeat on the phone." But it's not that I'm upbeat because of me. I'm upbeat because he brings happiness to me. I find that he's upbeat, and so I'm upbeat, and so it's just like this merry-go-round going on. And so I think that is what's so important, is to continue to give to others as you would want them to give to you, and it really does come back.
Well, we were discussing this, and maybe this is something that Bruce could go into with us at a later time. The idea that relationships are not about what you get out of it. They're only about what you can put into it.
Right.
Okay. Period. Okay. What can you do to make the relationship better, happier, more comfortable, and you get your joy from contributing. Your joy comes from the contributing and the reception of your ideas
but we can do a whole nother show on when you give and then you're not receiving back, and then you find yourself in this merry-go-round where you're beating your head up against the wall because you're giving and you're not getting anything back, and then you have to really stop for a minute and question. But then question number one: why do you keep doing that, and why is that so important to you?
And it would probably be something that would be, honey, we need to have a talk. And if you can't, yeah. And if you can't,
men hate that when you say,
well, they shouldn't. A man that cares shouldn't. He should be sure, hon. Let's get a.
But he knows dinner is going to be burnt tonight.
Let's get your glass of wine and mine. We'll sit down. Let's go outside and sit on a blanket. It's a nice night out. Well, let's talk about stuff.
I know.
Okay.
And that's really what it's about, is communicating.
Absolutely.
That it truly is what it's
and then
about.
You come to,
and Bruce says must have a balance. Absolutely.
Yep.
Giving and receiving back, there must be a balance. Now, Bruce Starr is a major, and I want to say major, relationship coach. I mean, he's been in the business for years. He's
one of my favorite people.
Oh yeah, he's just an outstanding human being, and so he always pops in and helps us, which is really awesome.
Well, I like the fact that he's a guy. We got another.
I think it's nice he's a guy too, but his wife thinks it's nice too. But anyhow, okay, so never flirt with a coworker. I don't know. I mean, this is supposed to be about things that you really shouldn't do, but I kind of think you really shouldn't do that. I mean. I think you really
and right now, today, tonight, at this moment, while we speak, it's like for the last month, my internet news feed is nothing but women and sexual harassment. I mean,
okay, but see, and again, we could do a whole nother show on that, but. I think
and it's getting old. It's getting real tired.
Well,
you almost
in our perspective, I really feel like we should step back from that. Now, that doesn't mean that you might not meet a single person at your work and that you guys something starts growing as you're working together.
You make a connection that goes beyond.
Something happens, but you have to know that this is where you work. And if you step beyond that line, that fine line that's there, and something bad happens, are you going to be okay with getting another job? Are you going to be okay
with them putting handcuffs on you?
What's going to happen? Yeah. Well, the thing is that you're two mature, consenting adults, and so
you would hope
that's what we want to share on this show. We can have a whole nother show about that, and we probably should, because there are certainly things about it. Yeah.
Ask him if he's sure.
Yeah. Bruce said he's definitely
is he sure he's a guy?
I think he is the guy. He is the guy, I think. So anyhow, let's go on to the next one. Blah sex is immature reason to end a relationship. And that's kind of a touchy subject with us being older, because again, we talked about that. And I think sex is so important. I mean, let's face it, we all want that. We all love it. I mean,
crave it.
Some of us love it and want it, and others don't, and others can't. And so I think it's the loving relationship that you create that's good for you. And I think that's where you want to try to go. And some people are more sexually driven than others. Some have, they're okay, some are not. I mean, I think that ultimately you have to figure out what it is you're truly looking for in the relationship. Are you looking for a connection? Are you looking for sex? What are your
There's a very good chance, very good chance that people that we meet now in our age bracket, that have come out of long-term relationships, marriages that ended because the sex died. There's a very real high percentage possibility that you're going to meet someone that started the avalanche.
Right.
Okay. Where I know, for example, that if you're in a good relationship and you're having a quality sexual relationship, a lot of times good sex can lead to good conversation because you become more amenable.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And that's something.
Are you sure?
No,
because
I'm not
usually
joking.
when we're talking sex, there's not a lot of talking going on.
No, I'm the afterglow.
Oh, the afterglow.
Okay, or maybe
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know, and you love it. Okay, and it's fine. Go ahead.
Now, this is interesting what Bruce says. I'm going to put this up for everyone to see. It says, we all need to move our focus to upper energy.
Chakras.
Yeah, centers or chakras. Yeah, I think that is so true because I really do feel like, because we're talking relationship building here, and I think that there's all elements within that, that we're talking about. But I do feel that we can't take one area and be that our complete focus on that. And it really can't be on any one particular area. And I think Bruce said it so well, is that you have to have a balance. So there has to be a balance of all the areas. Sure. There has to be a balance of communication and fun within the relationship and
responsibility.
Right. And the sexual aspect of it, whether it be intercourse or non-intercourse or whatever. But there has to be all of those elements that play within a good man and woman relationship have to be there. And then I think we as human beings have to be able to kind of number it as to what the importance of it is in our lives. Because we're at different, and everyone listening here tonight, they may be at different levels within their lives.
Or have different priorities.
Right, yeah. Absolutely. So some areas might be a little bit different than others, But what I wanted to mention too, and because you touched on it, and I think that is so important, is I think sometimes our past, as we're moving forward, as we're making that transition and we're moving forward, what you said about being in a non-loving relationship, we're moving out of someone that possibly have hurt us, and we're moving from a non-loving relationship, we start doubting ourselves, and we start becoming insecure of who we are and what we're capable of doing, which creates for the sexual aspect of it, it creates problems.
And not just a part of it. And Bruce can probably attest to this as well as anybody. There could be a level of anger, deep-seated anger from the frustration of the relationship failing that you got to get over. We can lump a lot of this stuff into the proverbial baggage.
Yeah, I don't like to call it that, but I know it is. It is what it is. But the thing is I like to think that we're in a transition state, and that we continue to evolve, and we continue to grow, and we continue to better ourselves and those around us as we're moving through any difficult situations in our life. So rather than it be baggage, because I don't think that our lives, we're not who we were before. You and I are not who we were before when we first started the show. I remember you when you first started the show. I was
about 12 years old. Look at me now.
You were but you were nervous, and now he'll slide in here like a minute before the show's ready to hit, and he's all set. But before, you were pacing, and you were
I was nominated,
making me nervous.
I was nominated for an Emmy.
You were, yes, absolutely. But I'm just saying is that we grow as we continue to grow. And I hate to refer to our lives as being baggage. I think it's learning experiences. So
baggage is just a simple way of tying it up with a neat little ribbon.
Yeah.
And, just say, here, baggage.
But life isn't always like that. And okay, that brings us to this one. Mr. Perfect doesn't exist. So how often?
Yes, he does. You're sitting right next to him.
How often have we really waited for the right person?
All the time.
And we've blown off people that are awesome. You know, I mean, really.
I probably fall into that trap as much as anybody else.
Mhm.
So I agree.
I know that when I first started dating, I wasn't ready. I mean, I from my marriage, you know, I got divorced and he was already, you know, full blown into a relationship before, you know, we even decided to, oh yeah, I like that. I'm going to put Susan, I'm going to put your one up. But before the door even hit him, slammed him shut, he was already on to another relationship. And I figured I'm going to get out there. He can date, I can date too. I'm going to get out there. I've met some really great guys. And then as soon as they wanted to get serious about me, I'm like, whoa, no, not happening. And it's just because I wasn't ready for that. They were ready for it. That didn't make them bad guys because I chose at that time in my life, not to go forward with it. Actually, they were great guys. Some of the guys I still am in contact with, and they're awesome. They're awesome men.
You know, that statement that Mr. Perfect doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. I venture to say that if you take and you look at even let's take someone, doesn't have to be an actor, an athlete, or a politician, but
James Bond.
Okay.
He's pretty damn perfect. Other than he fools around with a lot of women.
Okay, and that's for you. But somebody else, just as easily, somebody else on the other side can go and yell, but all he did was fool around with a lot of other women. So the idea that who would be a consensus Mr. Perfect? There isn't anyone. That's my spin.
Well, I always say I'm looking for
Mr. Perfect.
Well, I'm looking for the right guy for me. He may be not the right guy for me. He may be the right guy for someone else, but I'm looking for the right guy for me. And that guy is going to be just pretty awesome. And that's just all there is to it. And I think that's how we kind of have to look at it.
May not be Mr. Perfect for the real world, but he'll be Mr. Perfect for me.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. Now let's see what else. Did we cover them? I think, gosh, did we cover all of them? We're getting good at this, moving through so well. Well, you know, the last thing I want to say about this is that I think we need to leave and put aside our preconceived notion of what we think a relationship should be. Because so often
they do take on a life of their own.
Right. And as we start dating, as we start going out there and we start hanging our shingle on a dating site or whatever, and we decide we want to move forward with it, I think we need to put aside what we thought a relationship should be, because a lot of times when we're coming, especially from relationship loss, we find out that what we conceived as a really great relationship, can turn very sour very quickly and for a very long time. And so I think if we just open our hearts and open our minds to really being able to, give what we can to someone else and accept them for who they are, and then we can think about, can we live with this person long term? Can we, do all this other stuff? We can think about that. But if we put aside our preconceived idea of what we think a relationship should be, like, for instance, my parents, in the back of my mind, I always kept thinking, why can't my relationship be like my parents? Because I'm not my mom, neither is he my dad. And so I need to put that idea, the Ozzie and Harriet,
No, I don't. I don't quite agree with that.
Oh, okay.
I don't quite agree with that. I think the images of Ward and June Cleaver, Mike and Carol Brady, okay, even Gomez and Morticia Adams, all right? There are elements from there that you can take. And why can't you have that kind of relationship? Okay. The point is,
because
go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
The point I'm trying to make is along with yours, the idea of being open-minded and accepting a new person. They're going to come with their own set of things that you're going to have to cope with, deal with, mesh. I've written blogs about the idea of, does your life mesh with someone else's, which is a key ingredient
Mm-hmm.
to starting a new relationship. Okay. Once you get comfortable around each other, I'd like to think of myself, for example, as the greatest and most comfortable pair of bedroom slippers you'll ever have in your life. I don't have a lot of demands. I don't have a lot of needs. Okay. So I think I'm easy to get along with. I'm laid back and I'm comfortable. But there are some that want an active person. Okay. They want to live their fantasy life of the wild, wild west. And
Well, that's a personality.
okay.
And I mean,
But
I
that's-
agree
but
with
that
that, but that
energy-
is,
yeah, but that's-
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
but that energy is something
Now,
they don't want. If I'm kind of a high energy person,
there's no question.
although I can be laid back too, but I like to get out, do things. And for me to be with someone that doesn't want to do anything at all is not going to work.
Sweetie,
for
I'm
me.
not, that's not, I
gonna
don't
work.
mean that. What I'm saying is that, before you have your preconceived ideas of what a relationship should be, the essential elements of that relationship can be exactly what you want it to be. There might just be another set of surrounding issues that
Mhm.
you're going to have to live with,
Yeah.
cope with, and understand.
Mhm.
Okay. But the essential heart of the relationship might be perfect.
Right.
Okay?
I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, although I don't necessarily agree with it, because I think that when we look at Ozzie and Harriet, and those younger probably have not a clue what we're even talking about, but when we look at those kind of relationships, that's not a relationship of today, nor is it, I think, a relationship that I would say most women most
have
women
changed
would
dramatically.
want.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is put all that preconceived idea of what you think a relationship should be and start to create your own. Create your own bubble, so to speak. Create your own idea of what you are looking for in someone, and then start creating that life for yourself.
Okay.
So if you are an active person, then seek someone that is equally
Right. Well,
that's equally active with you. If church is a very
And that's the
important
wonder-
element, seek someone that also,
and that's
so
one of
you're
the-
building your
okay, and that's one
relationship.
of the most wonderful aspects, the huge
Mhm.
positive aspects about using online dating sites,
Absolutely.
is because most people will describe those things, elements that are important to them. Okay, if church, an activity,
Mhm.
a thought process,
Mhm. Mhm.
politics.
I like this, what Susan wrote here. She said, when you meet someone and the sparks are strong for both of you, that means your word, the chemistry is clicking there.
Chemistry?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You
I
will
thought
not
I heard you say
analyze.
that.
Then she goes on to say, you will not analyze or judge. You will just love and be happy and live with the good. Live
A life.
life. Okay, yeah, if I can read. And life will be good for a long time. I don't have my reading glasses on. Although I have my glasses on, they're not reading ones. Yes, I agree with that, Susan. I think you kind of get what I was saying is I think that once you click, if something clicks within, and you guys both as a couple decide you want to move forward and start building a relationship, put aside what was before, what you thought it was, and just start building today fresh and new and say, let's make this work, and let's make a commitment to each other that we're going to make this work. I remember something that my ex said to me one time, and I'll never forget it. I was so mad at him, and things were going really south. It was going really, really bad. And I remember he looked at me and he says, I don't really care what you think. We're going to make this work. Because I'm committed, you're committed, we're going to make it happen. And I remember him saying something like that and thinking, that is the attitude that we need to have. Of course, now, many, many years later, we split up. But
What happened to that attitude?
yeah, well, life got in the way.
Yeah, okay.
And, so I think that is really what we want to do, is build on that. Make a commitment to build on something, and then just keep starting to build it together. you know,
Right.
and see what happens. But yeah, but I love the dating sites because I do think they're a vehicle that gets us out there to meet other people that we wouldn't normally meet. You're not going to meet someone sitting in your living room, although if you're sitting in my living room, you might meet people because I'm dragging people in all the time. But, you know, you just want to get out there and do more, you know, and be a little bit active. So the dating sites are really good for that.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're a wonderful invention in this era that we live in now. And I'm a big supporter.
Yeah, me too.
And so here we are at the end of another show. We thank you so much for being with us. And we hope that the information that we provide to you is, you know, useful more than anything else. And that we can help you from our bottom of our hearts. We can help you move forward more easily and just know that everything is okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, we realize that life is a challenge and that as you move forward, thinking that you're going to step
relationships
out,
can be one of the most difficult
absolutely,
challenges.
absolutely, it is. And it's one of the hardest things in which to, you know, and it's an ongoing, it evolves. Your relationship evolves with someone. So with saying that, you know, just know that we are here for you. And we hope that we can make this happen.
We've got you'll want to stay with us because we've got some great things coming up. I know I say this every week, but we do.
Well, we always do. We always have good things.
We have great things
now,
coming
next
up.
week
Hopefully, my buddy Bruce will come back on one night. We're trying to line up a wonderful couple from right here in the Tampa Bay area that is right now an internet sensation. They met and reconnected through an internet dating site, and we hope to have them on as guests.
We'd love to. We'd love that
and
if they would like it.
Someone out there knows us, knows them, and knows who we're talking about. Maybe you can help us make that connection. But we hope to have them on very, very soon. They're a wonderful couple, and they have a great story. And we'd love to be able to be here to tell you about it.
Well, next week, we're going to do a Christmas special. So I hope you guys will put on all of your Christmas gear and join us because we're going to
join us right here in Gaudios and Wanamaker's.
Yep. And everyone out there, if you're listening to this, you'll be able to join in and share with us your holiday wish. And we would love for you to be able to do that. Come on board and share with us what you wish for yourself and others. We'd like to be able to inspire others to be able to move forward. And so I think that would be a wonderful thing to share your holiday wish.
Looking forward to it.
Yes. So anyhow, so this is CC Shacks.
And this is Kit Smith. Thank you again for being with us.
And this is a boy and girl thing.
Good night.
We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Same back time, same back channel.
Bye. Thanks, Susan.